Hello, punters, and welcome to Big Red and the Silver Fox. We have day two of the championships coming up at Randwick. How's the track looking, Tony?
Mate, Thursday morning they've given us a heavy 9 and prediction of more rain. So we're going to have a heavy track. We're going to be looking for a mudlark. We're going to be looking for fit horses. I think I've found a few. Um, Hopefully, after your efforts through the week yesterday, it was a fat day, 3 out of 3. Hopefully, you found a few and kept that ball rolling for us.
Yeah, it was a fill up. I was happy to win the last one in the steward's room. I was a bit concerned that J Matt wasn't going to be able to talk his way into it, but because I've never had a protest down my way, but thankfully it did.
Yeah, we had a lovely day. Lovely day. It was a good result for everybody involved, and a few people have got full pockets to launch with us on Saturday.
Yep, so the two races we're going to highlight today, we'll have a look at the Sydney Cup, which looks wide open, but we'll just have a quick look over that and mention a few runners. And the big race, the big match race, NMO v Dubai Honour. Excited for that one, mate?
I am. I'm super excited. I'd like to see a better track. It'd be great to see who was the better horse out of it. It is going to come down to who's fittest and who's going to handle the track the best. Mo has got an impeccable record on the heavy tracks. I absolutely love him. He's been one of my all-time favourite horses, and breaks my heart to tip against him on Saturday. It's a very very hard thing to do, but I think Dubai Honour just beats him.
Rightio, before we get to the Queen Elizabeth, we'll have a look at the market for the Sydney Cup.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the sports bet tell us. It'd be nice to get one of them corporate bookies come on board and help us out with a little bit of sponsorship or something, mate. But at the moment, we're showing sports bet because they have a fairly decent product and they're usually not too far away from how the market's going to look on Saturday.
Yep, sounds good. Sportsbet, we're here when you want to talk. Just I'll be waiting. We'll go through this market. So our favourite is Cleveland, $4. Gold Trip, $7.50. King Frankel, $8. Arapaho, $12. Surefire, 13s. High Emotion, 13s. Baron Semity, the import, 15s. Knight's Order, 17s. Nerve Not Verve, 17s. Jim Martini, 17s. And longer the rest. There's a few down the bottom there at some big odds.
Yes, there's your futures bet sitting down there at $27, mate. You'd be cheering if he wins, even though it's going to hurt us everywhere else. But Explosive Jack at the $27.
Yeah, I was coming into the week. It was a bit funny actually. I looked at the market in the all-in market, and I got $51 for it, and it was $51 in the all-in market earlier in the week. So I got on a month ago, and it was still the same price.
Well, mate, his form on a soft is not too bad. Has untried at the heavy, so and Jackleberry's sort of as a rule don't go too bad. They've got a good exposure on a heavy track over there, so you might be half a chance, mate.
Fingers crossed. We'll have a look at this speed map. What are your thoughts here, mate?
Yeah, punting form of still helping us out there with the speed maps. Any punters want to get on board, give us a call and we can set you up with a link there. Uh, it's very close. I think Gay's two horses control the speed of the race. They were there doing it the other day. Knight's Order, Timmy Clark's going to send him. Sir Lucan's going to be thereabouts. He's got no weight on his back, and Winona Costin, I think she'll suit this horse. Give it half a sort of a chance. King Frankel, Arapaho, yeah, they've got them in the great spots. That's where they're going to be, and they're going to get decent runs. Speed's going to be very much controlled, so it could rule these back markers out of the 3200.
Yeah, I thought the interesting ones from the barrier draw: Gold Trip, barrier 16, and top weight. Cleveland, the favourites, drawn 17. Just looks very sticky for those horses. They're going to have to try and get on the 3 wide line there and try and get someone to take them into the race to be any sort of chance.
Yeah, they're just going to need that little bit of class, and I don't think Joseph O'Brien brings them over here just for a look and a giggle. They'd definitely be thinking they can win. K McAvoy on board. He's looking to start his carnival up, so he'll be giving it the gun as good as he can from the 17, and who knows, it might just be the place to be out there on Saturday.
Rightio, we'll have a quick look at the last start replay where Arapaho got the win for you, mate.
Yeah, he's been a very nice horse for us the last couple of runs. We found him in the Canberra Cup, and then we found him last start as one of the better bets of the day, and had him in the Quaddie as well.
His last start replay, which Arapaho got the chocolates. You got King Frankel, Stockman, Knight's Order. A lot come out of this last race. Gold Trips down out the back there, so it's Explosive Jack. What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
this replay, mate?
Gold Trip. I don't think he's racing as good as what he was. His lead up to the Melbourne Cup, he put in a couple of nice runs, and you wanted to be on him. The 3200 is definitely his trip, but I just don't know whether he's racing as good as what he has been. Arapaho, we found him this day. Like Gold Trip and Montefilia were coming off that hard run on that hot day the week before, so that's why we ruled them out. They've had a nice little blow into this week's race, but the heavy track's it's going to rule in favour of these couple of horses that are down on the lighter weights, I think.
Yeah, I sort of thought out of this replay, the ones that you wanted to highlight would be King Frankel. It was a massive run, took off early from the bend and just kept on sticking on. Arapaho was a good run, and Cleveland was the one getting through the line and definitely runs 3,200 metres. But so I've landed on King Frankel on top. So I think he goes better on a wet track. Has the tactical advantage to push forward, just being behind the leaders there and produce on the corner. Carried 59 kilos last start, goes down to 50, so 9 kilo drop and gets a 3 kg weight swing on Arapaho, which I think if you take 3 kgs off him there and he doesn't take off early for home, he probably beats Arapaho home there. My danger, I've got Nerve Not Verve. Has 3,200 metre form, heavy tracks, 8 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. So loves it wet. Gets a 2.5 kg swing on Surefire for just going down to it last start. So I think those are probably my 2 main ones. Cleveland's a chance, but just bad barrier. It's going to have to be a good ride for it. Explosive Jack, I've got the future on, so we'll just be cheering there, but I wouldn't want to be backing him if I was betting right now. And High Emotion's the only other one I'll mention. It was a terrible ride last start, was out the back. Did run third in the Melbourne Cup on a 7-day backup, so has done it in the past, so wouldn't shock, but bad barrier, and I don't go much on the jockey, so that probably takes him out of contention. Who'd you like, mate?
Mate, I come out with Arapaho. As I said, we followed him his last couple of runs, and he's been good for us. I think he drops to a real winnable weight for him against this class of horse. The heavy track's definitely in his favour. I watched him brain him up here in the Caloundra Cup a couple of years ago, so he's a horse going forward. I gave a chance to Knight's Order. I think he gets to control a softer speed. Like he'll get there a lot easier. He'll travel a lot kinder and have to do no work. So he's definitely a fit horse going into the race. Other one that I gave a chance to was Gin Martini, down the bottom, number 16, 50 kilos, Zach Lloyd on board. He's riding really nice. She'll get into a nice spot from that barrier, and she'll have a nice bunch of horses to follow into the race. So I gave her a little bit of a chance at big odds.
Here's the market for the Queen Elizabeth. So Dubai Honour, the import, is now claimed favouritism at $2.40. Enemo, $2.60. Unicorn Wine coming over from Japan, $10. Cascadian 12s. Montefilia 17s. Monga 23s. We'll just say longer the rest because I think one of those top few in the market are going to be your winner.
Yes. Yes, that's a good enough call for mine. Montefilia is just not up to these horses. The rest of them are not up to these horses. Dubai Honour, he was so dominant on a dry track that they thought, oh yeah, that's the reason we got a price was because the track was so dry, and they let us on, and he beat them very very nice too. Animo has long been my favourite horse. I love him, absolutely love him. He just tries. He beats the horses that he's up against on the day. It's going to be so hard to tip against him on Saturday, but I think that Due by Honour will beat Mo.
Wow, that's massive, mate. I know how much you love Enemo.
Yes.
I think from a speed map point of view, I think the Japanese horse should lead him up at all costs. Not sure how it's going to go on a wet track, but looks like it leads for fun. And New Marion will be up there also. And then I think they all just sort of sort themselves out in behind there.
Yeah, we had to do a little bit of adjusting on this speed map. I think it's going to be a hot speed. These Japanese horses don't know any better. They come here and they set up a hard task and high tempo. The horses really sort of rattle along, and they're bloody nice horses. If it had been a dry track, I think I would have nearly put Unicorn Lion on top. Watched a couple of his wins over there, and oh, wow, he's an exciting horse. He's a very exciting horse, but I just don't think these tracking conditions are going to suit him. What do you?
We'll have a quick look at few last start replays here. So here's the last start replay of Do by Honour. I'll let you do the talking here, mate, because you're in his corner. What do you think?
Yeah, he got all the favours. Everything was run to suit him. It was a nice, very, very even speed throughout the run, and he was just tracking along. He relaxed beautiful. He was always had that little bit of cover presented at the right time, and Ryan Moore just absolutely, when he cut the ribbons loose, tore him to bits. He put a nice gap on him. He quick and nice. He's a lovely looking horse. They're not hacks that he beat.
Yeah,
So
I like the run. I just with these imports, I find that they always produce really well first up, and this was a career peak run for him. I know everyone's raving about how it rated and how it rated so much better than Enemo, but that's a career peak for him, and for him to come over to Australia and run a career peak and then back it up 2 weeks later and run another career peak, I just don't know if he can do it. He's a very special horse if he can. Um, but I'm going to stick fat with my main man, Enemo. I'm in the Australian boat, mate.
yes, yes. So everything in my rule book has been thrown out. Never back a import second up. Never back any horses second up for that rule, but especially the European horses. They just don't seem to. I agree with you. They don't produce, but he was just too good the other day. He just seems to have really acclimatised to this Australian life, and he's loving it. He's gleaming. All of the reports through the week on the racing shows have the horse looking amazing, and he's got a nice glow about him. The track's really going to be in his favour. Like his form on wet tracks is phenomenal, and the soft. He beat real good quality horses in good races over there on soft conditions. So I think he can do it again.
I'll show you Enemo's last replay here. This is him 3 wide the trip, no cover. A lot of people are putting knocks on this race because the horses like Converge and Fangirl Mark didn't run top 5 last week in the Doncaster. But Enemo's just been 3 deep the trip here, done all the work, run up to him, and he showed the kind of horse he is. If there's a dogfight going, he's going to win. I feel like if it's Dubai Honour and him 200 to go and they're fighting it out, Enemo just knows how to put his head in front. His wins never rate well, and that's what everyone sort of has a knock on him for. The Twitter world's on fire at the moment, just knocking Enemo. And I think that's just ridiculous. I think Flea comes out and proves them all wrong on Saturday.
Yeah, that track just didn't suit his way of racing and the way the pattern of the race formed that day. It was entitled to get beat. So for him to win, I thought it was just arrogant. And he is Australia's best weight for age horse. He's Australia's most dominant horse at this present moment. And it breaks your heart to actually tip against him. It's so hard to sort of say if you had to put a name beside a horse that's going to win the race. I just come up with Due by Honour. I think the track conditions favour him.
Yeah, well, we're head to head there. So I'm Enemo. I'm Team Enemo, and your team Dubai Honour. I'm also going to give a slight mention to my old mate Cascadian, who got the chocolates for me a few weeks ago. I just went back to his form, and I was actually surprised that he's never run against Enemo, which is probably right because he's a stable mate. But I just liked a few of his heavy track runs. Like he won the Hill Stakes on a heavy 8. He beat Montefilia on that day by like 5.5 lengths, which is a similar margin to what Dubai Honour put on him. Ran second to Mr. Brightside and was a bit unlucky in the run. Mr. Brightside come out and won the Doncaster. Um, I just think if J-Mac, if Enemo and Dubai Honour just try to focus on each other and they try to run each other into the ground, like similar to like a game versus Very Elegant, Cascading can be that horse that's sort of on their back and just coming off their back late. Whether he's good enough to pick up these two class ones is another question, but I think maybe a small saver there or maybe place bet at best.
He's on fire at the moment. He's racing really nice, the horse. So I can see why you put him in there. He was definitely in my top 3.
Rightio, we'll move on to our best bets for the card. Silver Fox, what do you got, mate?
My best bet for the day at Randwick, I'm hoping it handles the heavy track. It's winning the Black Opal down at Canberra was very exciting. Autumn Bell. Gay Waterhouse will have it fit. There, she's having a great carnival herself, so I put it on top.
Yeah, so Autumn Bell is race 3, number 3 for Timmy Clark and Gay Waterhouse. And my best bet for the card is coming up in the Queen of the Turf, alcohol free. I sent it out as an early play to the subscribers during the week, showing a lot of confidence. Her overseas form is just as good as it gets. Like, we haven't seen many horses come over here with the sort of form that she's got over there. She's running for Waterhouse and Bott Stable. She was 3.5 lengths off Maid, who is basically the best horse since Frankel over there, who's now retired. And that was over this distance. And the run was a little bit unlucky. I think it should have finished a little bit closer. It also beat Artorias, and Artorias is known it's a good form line for here because he's come out and won since in Australia. So I just think it wins. I think if you're getting anything better than $3, it's a great price. I'm actually surprised it's been drifting a little bit this during the week, but I think they'll crunch it late and it should start. I think it starts about 260. Should be
We
hard.
do love it. The Silver Fox and Big Red, we do love an import.
We'll move on to the Quaddie. Last week, mate, another one. One leg missed.
Mate, I found 2 winners. I'm pulling my weight. I can't believe you couldn't find Major Veal, mate. What's wrong with you?
I was so shocked when that horse won. I think I tipped it a few starts ago, and I remember it was on the week back up, and the week before it was over 2,000 metres, and I was like, oh, I don't need to run 2,000. And the week back up wins over 2,400 at, what, 30s? Yeah. Not good enough by us, but we'll try and do better this week. What do you reckon?
Yes, mate. Memories don't make us money. My favourite saying. That's why it's called punting and not winning. There's always something to hurt us. But this week's we're going to turn it around. I'm very confident in the dartboard race, the Sydney Cup. I've come up with 2 Knights Order, 5 Arapaho, and 16 Gin Martini.
I will throw in the 8 Explosive Jack. We've got the future ticket, so we better put him in the Quaddie. The 11, the favourite Cleveland. 13, King's Frankel. 15, Nerve Not Verve. And that'll do us. So our numbers will be 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 15, 16. Nice and wide. Let's get some value.
Sounds good, mate. We'll go into the second leg, the Queen Elizabeth. I think we've already mentioned this. We only need the 1, 2, and the 4.
Yep. So you've got your mate Dubai Honour. I've got Enemo, and I'll throw Cascadian in at one at a price.
Queen of the Turf, your best bet of the day.
Yep. I'll just take the 1, and then I'll take the 1, and you can throw in what you want, mate.
I threw in Levante. I liked its last couple of runs. I like Roots. Its form's been very nice coming into a race like this. And number 12, which was Pride of Jenny. It was we were all over it the other day when it run second. We needed it to win at the at the big odds for a bit of a result, but I think the 57 is probably going to level it back up to these horses. So I just don't want to throw it out.
I've got 1 alcohol free, 3, 9, and 12. Last leg.
Last leg, I come up with 1 Princess Grace. It's another import. It's an exciting horse. Geez, it's got some form about it. And number 11, Hypothetical. I think it's racing really nice. I think it's a fit horse going into it. Doesn't mind a little bit of a soft track on the form. So hopefully it lifts and does a couple of things for us on the heavy.
Yep, I'll put in Kiko, the 2. I'll put Full Sapateo in, your mate, the one that cost us last time in the Quaddie. We better put him in because we can't let it happen again. And we'll put in the 7, 1 Diva. So the last race will be 1, 2, 4, 7, 11. So $100 will get you nearly 24%. And I think if we get some value in the Sydney Cup, it should pay nicely.
Hawaii, here we come, mate.
Rightio, that'll do us for this week, mate. You have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, punters. I hope it's a fill up.
All the best, punters.